Floaty Goaty Lore, Volume 3, Chapter 15, The Quest to Find CaseOh. Ah, yes, the story of CaseOh, a sad one indeed. A human, lost on what to do with his life on Earth, creates a social media account and live streams gaming videos. Never would he see what was coming next. His live chat made fun of his weight. The insults hurt him, but soothed him. He grew larger with each one. He grew so big that he began to throw Earth off its orbital path. The United States military had to do something about it, so they took him off the face of the planet. They banished him from ever coming back to Earth, and they blasted him to outer space, where he ate stars and planets. He loved his home planet, so he didn't eat it or any surrounding stars or planets, but he was so heartbroken that he could never return. So, he took desperate measures. He traveled out of his solar system in search of food, and lots of it. That's where he is today, punching away anyone that gets close and eating all the planets he can find. "Jadiel, how do you know all of this?" asked Floaty Goaty. "Well," replied Jadiel, "I share a similar story, but from your planet. I've been following CaseOh's story for years, and I was hoping we could find him, get Tyson out, and shrink him down so I could ask some questions of how he ended up like this. I think I still have the shrink ray I used on you somewhere," Floaty Goaty said. "Aha, found it." He told the gang to get settled in the rocket and to get ready to see CaseOh again and find Tyson. Everyone was hyped that they were getting to go on another adventure. Floaty Goaty was still wondering, how was Tyson still alive in CaseOh's stomach? He guessed they would find out when they got there. Little did they know, CaseOh's story was a bit deeper than they had known previously. On the way there, they discovered a forest of bubbles in the universe that had the names of many shapes on them. Out of pure curiosity, they went inside the one that said rhombus, only to find a world full of rhombi that lived together in a space bubble called Rhombusia. Just then, the spaceship and the entire gang became polygons. A greeter rhombus walked up to them and said, "Ah, you must be the newcomers. Come, I'll show you around and why you should become a rhombus." Floaty Goaty tried to tell him no, but he proceeded with the tour. While he was distracted, the rocket zipped out of the bubble. Floaty Goaty said, "That was weird." But now they needed to find CaseOh and get close enough to shrink him. They eventually found them, but when they got there, he was eating everything nearby. If they got close, he would definitely eat them whole. Jadiel then pulled out the shrink ray to try to hit him with it, but the range wasn't far enough. They would have to get an upgrade, and Floaty Goaty knew just the person to do it. Floaty Goaty knew the direction, so he traveled at light speed to the monster world. He entered the rift to the pocket dimension and went to Ethereal Island. When he arrived, he was looking for Rebro. Then a Fung Prey walked up to Floaty Goaty and told him that Rebro was dead. Floaty Goaty suggested that they breed a new one. Fung Prey said that it wasn't that simple. Due to an increase of evil activity in the multiverse, there wasn't much time left for the monster world. The gang had actually seen the effects of the evil energy in action, when Hashi and Uncle Ben had to fight Fwog whilst Floaty Goaty and the rest of the gang were finding the secrets of Pilgor. That Fwog, along with all the Wubboxes they had to deal with, were results of the evil energy implanted in the monsters by Donald Trump and Ohio Final Boss. Floaty Goaty knew this would be bad, but he knew a safe place from evil energy. He also knew somewhere there that, although a little crazy, could fix the shrink ray. He flew the spaceship inside Zero's head, where he found a Ethereal workshop. There, he talked to Venshin in hopes that he could fix the shrink ray. "Oh yeah, I've seen this before. I can fix it, if you help me get out of the workshop." Floaty Goaty agreed, and so Venshin fixed the shrink ray. Floaty Goaty grabbed it and said thanks, and quickly dished Venshin. "No, you vile creature. I'll get out. I'll make an impact. I'll get my revenge." Venshin screamed as Floaty Goaty left him in the workshop. "I told you he was crazy," said Floaty Goaty. The gang then began to head back to CaseOh. When they arrived there, not only was he much bigger, but he was heading straight for them. CaseOh swallowed them whole. There were many planets inside CaseOh, but amongst the forest of giant Big Macs was Tyson. So happy to see the gang, but also worried knowing they were stuck down there. Floaty Goaty told him not to be scared because they knew how to get out. "But do we know how, though?" asked Hashi. "I mean, there's really no way we can. The shrink ray works, but we'll be crushed." Floaty Goaty reassured Hashi by using the shrink ray on CaseOh from the inside. The gang all popped out, and so did all the planets he had eaten. Now it was time for Jadiel to ask CaseOh how he got like this. CaseOh then explained his sad story. "Before my life on Earth had come to a close, I was always interested in space travel. I wanted to find more life out there so I could start living there. But when the incident happened, I couldn't live on any planet. I just ate everything I came by because of Donald Trump. I was looking for a home, looking for a family, but most important of all, I was looking for love. That's why I started content creation. My live chat did nothing but insult me about my weight. When they called the military, I knew I was done. So I took to feeding on the planets that I was going to travel to one day as a coping method. It was a sad story indeed. Floaty Goaty wanted to make it up to CaseOh, so we vowed to go across the universe to find CaseOh a lover. God, this part is so stupid, by the way. He asked lots of people, even Komar Gaming, the merchant with insane prices. When Floaty Goaty came back, to his shock, he saw a wedding ceremony. It turns out in the short time he was gone, Jadiel had asked to marry CaseOh, and he said yes. You really thought I was looking CaseOh so I could find out more about my backstory that I myself lived through? Oh my gosh, this is so stupid. I was looking for love, and it seems I've found it, said Jadiel. Floaty Goaty sat down as Uncle Ben went over their vows, and they got married. Floaty Goaty covered their honeymoon at a hotel and built at the remains of Goofy Eye Tower with a 5-star rating and a maxed-out resort. Floaty Goaty then told Jadiel not to worry about coming with them for any more adventures. They would come visit him in CaseOh once Donald Trump was eliminated. Jadiel wished them good luck and said his goodbyes. Floaty Goaty then began to look around on all the planets CaseOh had eaten until he had found a plastic Big Mac he must have swallowed. He took it to Goofy Eye Planet and placed it on his weapon. When he looked outside his house, he saw a portal open in a nearby grass field. Out came multiple fighting squares that looked like humans, but they were just heads that moved by sliding on the floor. He then noticed that one looked particularly a lot like Snow's, but he figured they would deal with it later, so he went back to the gang. Hashi still did not trust the weapon. Floaty Goaty then directed the gang's attention to what was behind them, the bubbles with worlds full of polygons from earlier. It appears the Rhombus world may have followed them. Floaty Goaty was planning on bringing the gang back to Goofy Eye Planet, but they figured one more journey out in the multiverse would suffice. That's when the Rhombus from earlier came out of the Rhombus world and talked to them about finishing their tour. Floaty Goaty, although reluctantly, agreed.